Hi Virgo, it's Becky and welcome to your February 15th solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in Aquarius reading. Now, this eclipse is going to be occurring on February 15th, which is just in a few days, and it is very powerful indeed. The eclipse will be occurring for you, Virgo. Let me just double check that. Yes, in your 6th house on your solar chart, your solar astrology chart. This is the solar chart, not your birth chart. So it is the solar chart for all Virgos. In the 6th house, this eclipse at 27 degrees Aquarius will be hitting. What is the 6th house? The 6th house on the zodiac wheel is the area of life where we find issues revolving around health, fitness, the work you do, the workplace, organization, any acts of service. And this is where this solar eclipse is going to be hitting, but it will also reach out and ping across the sky into your 12th house, which is directly opposing the 6th house on the zodiac wheel. Now, remember back in January 31st when we had that lunar eclipse in Leo? For you, Virgo, the lunar eclipse occurred in the 12th, pinging to the 6th. Now we've got the partial solar eclipse in Aquarius starting in the 6th and pinging across the sky into the 12th house, which is the house of endings, healings, healing addictions. It can be psychotherapy. It can be counseling. It can involve some sense of closure around any of those topics. And it also can involve spirituality, meditation, adopting a spiritual practice. Okay? But it's definitely sort of going within. It's an energy of going within oneself. So let's go back to the solar eclipse we're facing now. It will be here in just a few days, and it's going to be hitting your health, fitness, workplace, what you do for your work, organization, and any acts of service. So we're going to go ahead now and get started with the card portion of the reading. So I will get over here for that. Now, what we've got in front of us today, I've already created the sacred space, and we have got 3 decks of cards. The first deck we're going to be using for the 3 cards I will lay out is the trusty Rider-Waite Tarot, the classic deck. Then we will be using 1 card from the Romance Angels Oracle cards, and we will be using 1 card from Messages from Your Angels Oracle cards. Now, I have also here with me my trusty rose quartz crystal, which is just so beautiful. I love holding it. It is a love energy that it emits. And we will not be using candles right now because as of February 4, the feng shui shifted, which is an ancient Chinese tradition of working with energy to make your home environment or work environment a harmonious physical space, working with energy basically. And so on February 4th, I changed all of the feng shui in my location for preparation for Year of the Dog, which is coming up at Chinese New Year. And so one of the things that's affecting the north part of your property or home or room or house, the north part is, some sort of an energetic situation where you cannot burn a candle and you cannot have a fire like in the fireplace. So we're just going to use our beautiful pink quartz to guide us as we go through the reading today, and of course our angels and spirit itself. So let's get started. Now remember, Virgo, this energy, before I get started, this energy that we're talking about with this partial solar eclipse in Aquarius is going to be active probably even now, but greatest at the eclipse, which I think is on Thursday, the 15th of February. And it will be super active for at least 6 months and maybe even up to 12. However, the strongest energy, of course, will be closer to that eclipse moment. Okay? All right, so let's get going. Angels, we're here with Virgo, and we are reading for the eclipse of February 15th, 2018. What is the general energy surrounding Virgo at the time of this eclipse? The general energy for Virgo at the time of this eclipse, February 15, angels. Virgo, February 15, Virgo eclipse. Thank you. Angels, what sort of events or things or issues or whatever might pop up for Virgo as a result of the energies, they wanted this one, of the eclipse? Okay. And angels, what is the advice to help Virgos deal with that in a positive way? Okay, good. All right, Virgo, let's turn over each one of these. Wow. Okay. Let me just take a look at this. Lovely cards. Okay. Now, Virgo, keep in mind that this energy is pinging into that 6th house, which is the house of your work, your job, where you work, organizations, health. Okay? So I'm going to see that, I see this as health right away. This particular reading seems to be focusing on that, which, of course, your health also affects how you relate to your job. So let's just look at the cards first. First, we have Temperance. In the second position, we have the Three of Cups. Beautiful card. In the third, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Also a beautiful card. All right, so I'm going to just give you an overview and then we'll go card by card. Okay, what I'm seeing is this, is some of you may be feeling a bit out of balance when it comes to eating, drinking, well, let me just say, it's things like eating, drinking. Actually, I'm seeing drinking here, but it could be anything, any substance, any food items. It could be cigarettes. It could be alcohol. It could be overeating, undereating, eating too many sweets, not eating enough fresh fruits and vegetables, maybe too much meat in the diet. Whatever it is, there is a situation as we approach this eclipse. It's going to highlight something that's not in balance. That's something maybe you've been trying to get in balance, but it's not in balance regarding your health. There is something that has been out of balance with your health. Now, what the cards are showing me is that for those of you who drink alcohol or any other mind-altering substances, but what's coming up here is alcohol. Okay. You're being guided and advised as we work through this eclipse energy to try to achieve a more healthful balance when it comes to consuming alcoholic beverages. Now, I know people love to have glasses of wine with dinner, and there's a place and a time and maybe even some physical benefits for that. But you're being guided to balance it. You're not being guided necessarily to throw everything out, to stop drinking, whatever. But I think it seems like the challenge is to establish a right balance so that your health is at optimum speed, so to speak. Because there may be a situation where whatever is out of balance in terms of your alcohol consumption or whatever it is you're eating in your diet or not eating in your diet. I just heard a balance in medication. There may even be, they're saying, some kind of medications that aren't quite balanced. Maybe it's a blood pressure situation or any kind of ailment that you're requiring medication for. You might want to make sure that you're feeling up to your best and that's all in balance with everything else that you are working with for your optimum health. Now let's go through one by one. Okay. The first position, I asked Spirit, as you heard me ask, what is the general energy surrounding Virgo at the eclipse moment? and this card came up. Now you can see, Virgo, it's called Temperance, and it is number 14 in the Tarot. It's number 14 in a special section of the Tarot that we call the Major Arcana. And what this means, these are major archetypal energies, huge energies, all right, that have much more influence on our lives, much more impact. It's not the energy has impact, it's just that the reflection, it's like a mirror that I'm holding up to see, Virgo. And what I'm seeing here is there is a huge effort by you Virgos out there to find a balance. You'll notice that this angel here is got one foot on land, one foot in the water. It's like a balancing act that she's engaging in here. Not both feet in the water, not both feet on the land, one on each. And as she is moving these goblets back and forth, she's transferring this liquid back and forth, trying to find the perfect balance. I just heard the words even keel, even keel. She's taking her time. She's finding this balance. She's trying to arrive at the correct amalgam, so to speak, of this water that she's got in these two chalices, or wine, or whatever it is. She's trying to find the balance, okay? And maintain the balance. So whatever is out of balance, it could even be in the workplace, something maybe you've been working on at work. And I just heard work-life balance. So maybe some of you are struggling to establish that work-life balance because it's getting really harder and harder as the years go by in many societies on planet Earth, for people to balance the hours they put in for their work, their job, versus the hours they have for themselves and for their families and for their dreams and goals and ambitions outside of the workplace. So it can be a struggle to balance that. It can be a struggle to balance a diet, finding the right proportion of certain items in your diet so that you feel your best. It can be a balance of medications. If you're needing to take medications, finding the right levels for you. It can, like I said, in the most literal way, it's a balance regarding alcohol. How much, you ingest or imbibe, or how often, and what is a healthy balance and what is too much, to where you're not at your optimum, or maybe just it's just an unhealthy reliance on it. Perhaps I just felt that word, and some of you may feel like you're relying on it, kind of like a medication in a way. It is really like a self-medication because it acts on the brain, much like traditional medications do. It's definitely a relaxer. The downside is that there are other physical ramifications like liver damage and brain damage and brain chemistry that becomes out of balance as a result of this substance, okay? So you need to be very careful, and I'm hearing the word depression. If some of you are dealing with depression, that's a very serious thing, and you want to try to find a balance, and some of you may be even balancing traditional methods of treating these things, meaning traditional medicine, and maybe an alternative. You're trying to find the balance there. Some of you may be balancing therapy with medication, medication with therapy, and some of you just may be, trying to balance your life in general. Like I said, that work-life balance is coming into play, and that's what this eclipse is doing. It's highlighting that 6th house, and it's saying, hey, Virgo, you have been struggling to balance all this stuff, and you're way out of balance. You're working too much. You don't have time for yourself, and you have to have time for yourself and to nurture yourself and to enjoy the fruits of your labors, quite frankly, and allow that to nourish your soul, because you are at this point where you're really needing to establish the balance. Okay, Having said that, balance is the key word here for this eclipse. We get to the second card, which you heard me ask Spirit to give us a card that is going to give us some heads up as to what might pop up for you during this eclipse energy, which may last 6 to 12 months. It could very well. And what may pop up is this. Now, this can go a lot of different ways. One way it could go is it may pop up that there are a lot of parties or occasions. There could be even weddings or engagement parties or birthday parties coming up, a lot of celebration and joy where there is a lot of drinking going on or overeating going on or overindulgence of some kind. Yes, it is a joyful gathering, but it tends to be one where people eat too many desserts, or they eat too many potato chips, or maybe they have one too many glasses of wine or beer, whatever it is. So this may pop up. And the reason it's popping up is to give you a chance to, institute this new balance, this new balancing act, basically, that you're trying to achieve. And it's a learning process for you, Virgo. So be gentle with yourself as you go about trying to balance these things. It may be a bit tempting to overindulge in certain dietary items, like, there's cheesecake or an extra piece of birthday cake, or, maybe there's some delicious sangria, and after one glass, maybe that's enough. And maybe you feel like, no, I'm just going to have fun and have 2 or 3. So what Spirit is recommending is that if you find yourself in a social situation or any kind of festive situation, even a dating situation, where there's a temptation to, kind of overdo it in the celebration of everything, you're being advised to remember that the lesson of this eclipse is balance, proper work-life balance, and proper dietary balance, and proper balance of any kind of substance, that affects your brain chemistry. Okay? Because it is important to be mindful of these things. Okay. Oh, I wanted to say something else. Yes, thank you. Spirit was just telling me there's something else. About this card, let's go back. You're also being cautioned to, when all of these celebration moments come up, or these events come up, and you may be asked out on many, many dates, Virgo. This can be the card of going on dates. And maybe you are going to ask a lot of people out on dates, or one particular person out on a lot of dates, and really live it up. Some of you may take vacations with these people and really live it up. And so what you're saying is, and not you, but what Spirit is saying to you is that even though, it's a celebratory time, and you're going out on a million dates, and you're going to a million parties, and then you're zipping over here for this wedding, and then all of that busyness, yes, it's going to be a very busy spring and summer for you, and even fall, Virgo. But you're being advised to remember to take a pause from all the festivities and celebrations to go within. Now, this card here is in the position of when I ask Spirit to tell us their advice on how best to deal with this balance that you're trying to achieve. Amongst all of this flurry of activity, how can you maintain your balance from a health perspective? And even from a mental health perspective, and a physical health. If you overdo too much, then you're going to run yourself down. That's what they wanted me to say. You'll get run down and too tired and exhausted. And you will not be able to really take time out for yourself if you do not achieve this balance. But you can achieve this balance because Spirit's advice to you is the 9 of Pentacles. As you can see by this card, the energy it represents is one of this very beautiful, peaceful scene where this beautiful person, elegantly robed, in her beautiful garden with the sun shining, in this gorgeous bird that she's got perched on her hand. It's contentment in one's own right. It's feeling contented and at peace. You know, you've done a lot of work. All these 9 pentacles are stacked up here. And she's done a lot of work to get those. But now she's stable. In fact, one could say she's quite abundant. But she's achieved inner peace, which allows her to enjoy the garden, allows her to enjoy the fresh air and the sunshine and this little bird. It allows her to simply be and fully appreciate everything she's accumulated till now, everything it provides her. And the reason she worked so hard to do it is because now she has the ability to relax and enjoy it. And that's what Spirit's advice is to you, Virgo. As you go through this eclipse and the months and weeks and months to come afterwards, as you struggle or work toward achieving balance in all things health related, all things work related, and how work life affects your personal life, how work life affects your health, how your social life affects your health, and how it takes you away from this peaceful place. So the whole lesson is just try to achieve quiet moments so that you can recenter and rebalance as you go through the season of this particular eclipse. You'll have to check in with yourself in quiet moments and just simply check in to see, am I balanced? Do I feel balanced? Do I feel stable? Do I feel grounded? Grounded, because you'll notice she's right there with her feet on that ground, her robe on the ground. Do I feel grounded? And do I have time for myself? And that is, this card definitely is, when I said that yours is pinging across the chart, I believe, from the 12th house, from the 6th to the 12th. The 12th house is all about going within. Solitude, healing. It can even mean counseling. It can mean ridding oneself of addiction. So if it is that you think you're eating too much sugar, drinking too much alcohol, or, you know, binge watching too many shows on TV and not exercising or going to the gym or whatever it is you do, taking your dance class, you know, that's what this card is saying. It's like nurture yourself and regain that balance, regain that health, regain that. And if you need someone to help you do that, then definitely do so. I mean, you've got spirit support right there, this angel helping you. So call in that spiritual team or call in your earthly team to help guide you on this rebalance as we go through these energies. Balance is the key for you, Virgo. Let's go ahead and draw a card from the Romance Angels. Romance Angels. We are drawing a Romance Angel card for our Virgo friends out there for the solar eclipse of February 15. Okay, let's see what we have. Wow. Okay. Virgo, your angel card says, make the effort. It says, great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay, so if we look at this series here, make the effort. If we look at this, you're making an effort to balance, then maybe a lot of things pop up and you get a little bit overwhelmed, or maybe you're being encouraged to even ask, like I said, ask someone out and enjoy things together. Make the effort to connect, or make the effort to keep things in balance in your life. And when you do make that effort, you achieve peace and the ability to just enjoy being, which in turn allows you to figure out what the next steps are that you're going to take toward great love. And they will be steps that are in measured approach, a measured approach to love, one that is in balance at all times. And if you find that you're kind of going off balance and going a little too much this way, just remember that your job this time around during this energy of this eclipse is to go within and take the steps that you feel guided to take, which you will be able to hear clearly from Spirit as you balance yourself. Okay? Balance, balance, balance. Definitely. Making the effort. Remember we talked about the 9 of Pentacles, where we said these 9 Pentacles reflected her efforts. Everything she's done to get to this place of beauty and balance and able to hear her own thoughts. Let's see what the the other angels have to say. The messages from your angels. Angels, we're here with Virgo, and we would like to have a message to wrap up this reading today regarding that solar eclipse that's coming up in February 15. There it is. Thank you, angels. Okay, let's see what they say. Okay, Virgo, this is the angel that came forth for us, and her name is Rochelle. And she says, as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. This is the card of someone who is standing in their prosperity. Someone who finally has achieved the balance in life that everything she's worked for has resulted in this beautiful, prosperous state where she is in harmony with all good things. And that's exactly what this angel is guiding you to do, Virgo. Follow the guidance of your heart. That means go within and know that prosperity is coming to you now. Okay, so remember that balance that you're trying to achieve. Call in your angels to help you do that, or your spiritual team, and know that you're headed here to this very grounded, prosperous state. And the path to get there is to go within and listen to your inner guidance, to your heart. That always leads to prosperity of heart, prosperity of love, prosperity of spirit, definitely. And prosperity of fabulous health. Okay, so remember, mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. In fact, that's exactly what I see here. Mind, body, and spirit. To me, this is spirit, this is body, and this is mind, meditation. So it's mind, body, and spirit, all in harmony. Wow, Virgo, I love this reading for you, and I'm so glad you joined me. I hope it helps. This eclipse is going to definitely help all of us, and I am looking forward to it. So remember the eclipse on February 15th. That will be it for now, but I will be back soon with our March readings. So until then, bye-bye.